All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Verbalin. My name is April, and today's topic is going to be on the four main writing styles. I apologize for the late start, but there seems to be some issues with Google Chrome with a lot of freezing, so we're working to resolve those problems. So please come and join the class. If you want to join a class, hit the green Join Class button, and we'll get started as soon as we have everyone in the room. Hopefully, we can have a very successful class with minimum freezing because there has been an issue. All right, so we have Diego is back. Hi, Diego. Diego? All right, I'll come back to Diego. And Juan is back. Juan?
Hi, April.
Hi.
How are you?
Hello.
Good. Good to see you in class. And
Thank
then
you.
Manuel Carreto. How are you? Juan Manuel Carreto.
Can you hear me, teacher?
Okay, now I can. How are you?
Fine, fine, thank you, teacher.
Good. Good to see you. And Motaz is back.
Yeah, sure.
Hi,
I'm back.
Motaz.
Hey, April.
And Mahmoud is back. How are you today? Mahmoud? All right, we'll come back to him. Victor, how are you? Victor?
Can you hear me?
Yes, how are you today?
I am fine.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. And Vivian,
Hey, April.
you have a different picture up today.
Yeah. Do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very
I see
lovely.
you wearing earrings.
Yes, yes.
They're shining.
These are one of my favorites.
They
And
look great.
Youssef, thank you. How are you
Yes.
today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, good. All right, and hopefully Mahmoud is back because I couldn't get a response from him. So hopefully he's back. All right, so we want to get started because we're kind of late. Today's class is going to be on the four main writing styles. There is an echo. So if you are new to Verbalin and you have the Verbalin website up, please close the Verbalin website and just keep your Google Hangout site up so that we can reduce the echo. If you're not using a microphone, you want to use a microphone because it helps to reduce the echo. So doing those two things will be helpful. Close your Verbalin site and use a microphone. All right, so with the four writing styles, what we're going to do is I'm going to go over each one, provide some examples, and then hopefully be able to give you some time to practice figuring out which is which. I want you guys to go really quickly before you actually, if you haven't already closed your Verbalin site, go to the Verbalin site really quickly, go under my name, and go under the class and open up the links. Open up the links that I have there because I want you to be able to follow along. So go to the Verbalin site under my name and click on the two links and open them up. Okay? Did you guys find it?
I find it.
Yeah,
Okay,
yes.
good. Okay. Oh, and I see Diego had to leave. Oh, okay. All right. So let me share my screen with you. All right, so the 4 styles of writing. So first, before we go over the 4 styles, let's talk about what a writing style is. A writing style is the manner in which an author or writer chooses to write to his or her audience. So it's just the method, the chosen method that the author uses to convey information to the readers. So the first one we're going to talk about is informative writing, also known as what? Do you guys know that the name of that's the word that starts with an E? Can anyone say that word for me? What do you think that word is? Vivian?
Sorry?
What do you think the word, how do you think you pronounce the word that starts with an E?
Expository.
Yes, expository. So the first style of writing is informative writing, also known as expository writing. And this type of writing is writing in which the author's purpose is to inform or explain the subject to the reader. So, this type of writing is generally based on facts. A lot of times it includes statistics, and it should contain the main ideas, details, and a conclusion. So, the whole purpose of this type of writing is to inform the reader of the subject. So, for example, if I was writing about, let's say, let's take the topic of drugs. If I was writing about drugs, my whole purpose, if I'm writing in an informative way, will be to let the reader know all the different facts about drugs. And with informative writing, by the time the reader reads this particular type of essay that you may write, they should know much more about the topic than they knew beforehand, because it's really to inform. It should be very detailed. It should contain the main ideas. So if your essay will be about how drugs are basically affecting the world, then your supporting details will show examples, and then your conclusion would summarize. So I'm going to give you an example of a paragraph that is informative. Now let me share that screen with you. So again, remember, the whole idea for informative writing is to inform the reader of something using facts about that particular subject. Can I have someone read this informative paragraph?
Yes.
Okay.
The use of wedding rings has evolved as the latest of all bridal traditions. From the earliest times, kings used initial rings to sign documents because they were unable to write. Since the initial or signet ring
Yes.
had the potency of the king's signature, anyone possessing a how do you say that?
Facsimile. Facsimile.
Facsimile was put to death immediately. Later, during the Greek times, when Alexander the Great died, his vast kingdom was, according to his instructions, divided among his generals. They also got copies of his signet ring. They used these themselves, and even allowed trusted advisers to use them when they served as the general's proxies. Eventually, rulers even allowed their courtiers
Courtiers.
to wear
Yes.
copies of their royal signets. Finally, the custom spread among the common people, and nearly everybody who couldn't write I lost myself. Signet official documents with a signet ring. Rings thus became a sign of contractual agreement, which meaning was eventually applied to wedding rings.
Okay, good. Excellent. Excellent. And also, if you see underneath, I gave you guys vocabulary. So if it's any words that you did not understand, then the meaning is listed. So tell me, what is this paragraph talking about?
The use of wedding rings.
Okay, so it's basically, but what about the use of wedding rings?
They are a sign of agreement, and they were used for it.
Right. So basically, it's discussing how the whole term of, or how the whole wedding ring came about. Because initially, we had the signet ring, and that was for kings. They used that when they, as their signatures, because they couldn't initially write. So later on, that actually became an agreement, and it became what you call a wedding ring. So this paragraph is an expository paragraph because it informs the reader of a subject. What subject is it informing the reader about? And I know Vivian is not the only one in this class, so you guys came to the class because you want to learn. So if you want to learn, it's important that you participate.
I'll give 5 seconds of ahead before I answer.
So Victor, question for you.
I'm sorry. Where can I find this test?
The information I have up.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the Verblin website. So remember, you hit start class to join my class.
That's my first time here.
Yes, no problem. So when you first went on Verblin, you saw my name and you saw the class description.
Teacher, sorry.
Underneath my name in the class description, you're going to see 2 links that you can open up, and you open those 2 links up. So this link is called the 4 writing styles. So open up that link. Yes, Juan.
No, it's because I am not sure that it's the same test that you load on the Burberry page.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't see anything that says the 4 writing styles?
No,
I mean,
it's the 4 styles of writing, but it's a different stuff. What is a writing style? Informative poster.
It doesn't say informative expository? Vivian, you don't see that?
I can't open another tab
Can't open
my audio goes down.
Okay, I'm not sure.
I'm ready for your shared screen. So
yes. Well, if you
listen.
guys can't, it should be the same information, but if you can't, then you're going to have to follow by with the screen. But we did just read it. Vivian read it very well. She even went through some of the things that were said. So, with that being said, what is this topic informing the reader about? What is this paragraph informing the reader about?
The history of the use.
The history of the use of
wedding rings.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly, and how it came about. And that's why it is an informative paragraph. And it also uses facts, right? Factual information.
Yes.
So that's another way how you know that it's an informative paragraph. Now, this particular paragraph doesn't use statistics, but a lot of informative paragraphs do. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But statistics actually help show the facts as well. So you'll usually find statistics in informative writing. So if you think of a research paper, research papers are expository essays because research papers inform readers of the topic, everything about that particular topic. Any questions about the informative / expository paragraph before we move to the other writing style?
No.
Okay. Let me go to the next. All right, so the next one is persuasive. So just looking at this word, what do you think persuasive writing does?
Try to convince you about something.
Exactly. So persuasive writing tries to convince the reader of something. So you're trying to persuade, as you see the word persuade in that, tries to persuade the reader to look at a particular subject from their point of view. So in persuasive writing, you're going to provide an opinion and you're going to give clear reasons and examples of why you feel that way and why the reader should feel that way. And sometimes in persuasive writing, what the writer will do is highlight the positive aspects of the topic, but also demonstrate the negative side of what is being persuaded against. So that's just a technique used to try to persuade the reader to look at it from his or her viewpoint. So let's give an example of persuasive writing. Let me pull this up for you. All right, so persuasive. Juan, can you read our persuasive paragraph?
Yeah, people of United States should push for the legalization of marijuana. It should be legalized to reduce the amount of people that get put into jail for marijuana, when there are far worse people out there that need to be put in jail. For example, marijuana arrests in the United States doubled between 1991 and 1995. In 1995, more than 500,000 people were arrested for marijuana offense. 86% of them were arrested for marijuana possession, and even greater number are punished with probation, fines, and civil sanction, including having their property including having their property seized, seized, their driver's license revoked, and their employment terminated. Despite these civil and criminal sanctions, marijuana continues to be readily available and widely used. For this reason, lawmakers should consider the idea of making this drug legal.
All right, perfect. That was actually very good reading, Juan. Thank you. So, tell me what this paragraph is about. What is this paragraph about?
Drugs, marijuana?
Yes, marijuana. What is it that the writer is trying to persuade the reader to believe?
That marijuana offenders, marijuana users are actually not as bad as other criminals.
Okay, so basically this person is trying to persuade the reader that the United States should make marijuana legal, right?
Legal.
So what are some examples that the writer gives to the reader to try to persuade that it should be legalized? What were some of the examples?
Between 91 and 95, the numbers of prisoners for marijuana was doubled. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly. So this person is arguing that there are so many people in jail for using marijuana, and it's doubling. And this person feels that there are so many people that need to be in jail for other reasons. So basically, why are we having all these people in jail just for the use of marijuana? What was the last argument that this writer made too, in terms of marijuana and why it should be legalized? Look at the last two sentences.
Even being illegal, it's widely used. So
Exactly, Vivian, exactly. Regardless of those being put in jail, it doesn't seem to matter as much because people are still using it on a consistent basis. So, do you see how this reader attempts to persuade? I'm sorry, the writer attempts to persuade the reader about a particular topic? That's
yes.
what persuasive paragraphs do. They try to persuade, they make it sound so good that by the time you finish reading the paragraph or the essay, you actually start to think on that particular side, and you may actually start agreeing with that writer. A good persuasive paragraph will do that. So, any other questions about persuasive writing before we go on to the third writing style?
Yeah, what's the difference between critical, like critical and persuasive? Like I've heard someone say there's a type of text that are critical. Does that exist?
Yeah, and you're more so talking about literary criticism, which will
All right.
fall more so under the expository writing, but it also can go along with the persuasive too, depending on depending on what argument you're making. So, but yeah, what basically what I'm giving you is the four main writing styles, and then there are some writing styles that kind of come out of these four,
Mhm.
and that's kind of what you're referring to.
April,
Yes.
I see he uses a lot of modal verbs to when he wants to say something, like introduce a new thing um, that he's thinking, the writer. Like when he say people of the United States should push the for the legalization, and then he says it should be legalized, and down there lawmakers should. So is it like a rule or a hint for recognizing this type of writing?
Is when using, okay, I missed the first part. You saying when he uses a lot of the should, basically, like the word should?
Yeah,
Is that what
and
you were
I think
saying? When he yes, that is a good hint. That is a good hint. When he's using words like should, is
prove
definitely because it
modal
kind
verbs.
of just shows you that this person is trying to hint for you to do something in particular, and that's what that person would want you to do. So yes, that is definitely a hint. Should is
Okay.
not won't may not be used in every single paragraph, but it'll be a word similar to it.
Yes.
Be a word
Thank
similar
you.
to it. Yes,
Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. And any other questions about persuasive writing? Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next writing style. We have two more to go. I'm going to share the screen with you. Okay. So next you have narrative. And what type of writing is narrative? What is a narrative paragraph?
And a story.
Exactly. It tells a story, and it could be fact or fiction. Now, here's a good way to know when it's this type of paragraph, a narrative paragraph. When you hear or you're reading a paragraph for an essay and you see that things are in sequence, is definitely a narrative paragraph. So if you see something that says, first I did this, then I did that, next I did this, that's putting things in sequence, and that's a narrative paragraph. Novels are often written in narrative form, if you think about it. A lot of novels and things that you read tell a basic story. Children's books tell stories. That's a narrative. So let's do an example of a narrative. Let's read a narrative paragraph. All right, Mahmoud, can you read this one?
Yes. Narrative. The most embarrassing moment of my sophomore year was how I earned my nickname, Crash. It all started right after school when I turned on the busiest street by the school. First, I pulled up right behind this truck at a stop sign. After a second, a fellow older student told me that I was really close and that I was going to hit the truck in front of me. At the moment, I was talking on my cell phone. Since I was distracted, I thought the long line of traffic had started to move, but it hadn't. In the blink of an eye, I hit the back of the truck in front of me. The devastation sunk in. I was so worried that I damaged the guy's truck, but all I did was scratch his bumper. Lucky for him. Then it was time to look at my car. My car was ruined. The hood was buckled, the front end was pushed back, and my headlights were broken. Humiliated and scared, I still had to drive my car home. During school that year, I never did hear the end of what had happened that day. Buckle to Ben. Okay.
Perfect, Mahmoud. Good. Good. So tell me, guys, what's going on in this paragraph?
He's telling about how he earned his nickname, the story behind it.
Exactly. So he earned the nickname Crash, and he's letting everyone know how. So he's telling the story. Now, what word do you see in here that gives you an indication that it is narrative? Outside of the fact that it's telling a story. But what's one of the words that I kind of mentioned to you guys earlier that's in here? It's actually, I see two.
There's a sequence, like he says, first something happened, and then
Exactly. It's
at
in
the
sequence.
moment, in the blink of an eye.
Right. Exactly. And then at the end, he says, then it was time to look at my car. So he's telling a story in sequence. So that's a very good way in knowing that something is a narrative. Is Yusef in this class? Because I'm not getting anything from him. Yusef, are you in this class?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. All right. So this is pretty much an easy style of writing because you're basically just telling the story. And most of us are good, even when we're just speaking, we're good in telling a story. So this is probably one of the easier styles of writing. Any other questions about narrative before I move on to the next writing style, the last one?
There is a saying, it says like, it's easy to tell a story, but it's difficult to tell a good story.
Well, now that's true. We all can tell a story. Whether or not it's good is another issue. True.
Yeah.
True. Definitely true. Very true. Okay. Oh, okay. Ingrid, you're joining us. How are you, Ingrid?
Oh yeah,
Good. Good to see you.
I'm fine.
Great.
And how about you?
I'm good. Good to see you. All right. No other questions about this one? I'll move to the
No, that's
last
it.
one. Okay, so the last one out of the four main would be descriptive. Descriptive. Yusef, what is it a descriptive paragraph?
Descriptive, it is like describe something like
Perfect. Exactly.
graphically or adjectival.
Yes. So you see the word in the word descriptive, you can get the word describe. So it's describing something. And
We
what the
can't. There is some noises. I don't know from where.
yeah, I do hear something. All right. Sounds like it may be a little bit better. Oh no, it's not. All right, let me see something. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
So, in descriptive writing, the writer paints a vivid picture of the subject to the reader. So, the writer usually will create images in the reader's mind so that they can really understand and actually picture in their minds what they are describing. So descriptive writing should be very good in a way that the reader can actually just really picture it. That's how good it should be. And a lot of times the writer will use details that are generally sensory, meaning they're related to the five senses. So, the reader may describe how something smells or how something
Look
tastes
like.
or how something look or how something exactly or how something sounds, things like that. So it's just really describing something, anything. It doesn't matter. But it's just to make sure that the reader can picture these things in his or her mind. So let's go to an example of a descriptive paragraph. And Ingrid, I would like for you. Oh, Ingrid, she's not in here. Okay. Pablo, I would like for you to read the descriptive paragraph.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Descriptive. A beach in Hawaii on a December day. Oh, I can see I can't see the text.
You can't see it very well?
Now,
Let me
right
make it
now,
bigger for you.
no, because
You can see it
a
now?
picture, yeah. A beach in Hawaii on a December day is like a day at a lake in mid-August. The beach smells fresh, almost like a new ocean, breezy air freshener. The sun is hot and looks like gold blended in with little white specks. It sparkles like the water running off the swimmer's back and feels like walking on coals from a burning grill. Not far from the shore, you can see the coral sitting still in the wild and shallow water. Turtles drift in to see all the people. The palm trees sway in the air from the forceful wind. In the distance, the house is beautifully placed
Wind.
right by the water. Sorry, the house is beautifully placed right by the water, so it can look across the ocean each and every day. People are laughing and playing in the burning sand. Others are relaxing on the beach, bronzing their skin while enjoying the bright rays of lights coming from the sun. From a far distance, the ocean is a deep navy blue. Waves come in like a bulldozer from all the wind. At night, everything is still. Waves are still coming in, but not as hard, while the beach is cleared from all the people. All you can hear is the waves of the ocean. The beach is a spectacular place, living is excruciating and difficult to do.
Yes, and that was great. One part you missed was all you can hear is waves of the ocean and the light breeze coming from the giant palm trees. Yes, the beach is a spectacular place. Leaving is excruciating and difficult to do. So, what exactly is this writer describing?
A beach in Hawaii.
Exactly. So, the writer is describing the beach, and it's a particular beach in Hawaii. Now, what is it that you see? What are some of the senses that you see this writer using in this descriptive paragraph to make the reader picture what's going on?
For example, he says that the beach in Hawaii on December days smelled fresh, almost like a new ocean.
Exactly. Perfect example. So he's using the sense of smell here to try to get the reader. And as you're reading this sentence, doesn't it make you picture it, the smell? That's kind of what descriptive writing does. It just makes you picture these things in your mind. So if I'm reading this, I'm saying to myself, okay, ocean breeze air freshener, that does smell very, very good. So this is a beach that I may want to visit. This writer is describing it so well that I want to visit this beach. One thing that descriptive writing does, as you will see in this paragraph, it uses a lot of adjectives. Do you notice that? A lot of adjectives to describe the beach, to describe the nouns in this paragraph. Give me an example of an adjective that you see in this paragraph.
Like how he's describing. Okay, go ahead.
How he describes the wind, the forceful wind.
Forceful.
And the house is beautifully placed.
Perfect. Beautifully placed. And the water is shallow, right?
Yeah.
And you have a new ocean breeze air freshener. So this writer is using a bunch of adjectives to describe the nouns in this paragraph. So that's another thing that descriptive writing does. It's really good in using adjectives. So any other questions about descriptive writing before we go on to practicing and seeing how good you guys are with getting an understanding of these 4 different writing styles? Any other questions about descriptive writing?
It's all clear.
Okay. What if you had to pick one that you had to do, which one do you think you would pick? What do you think would be easiest for you to do? Persuasive, descriptive, informative, or narrative?
Narrative.
Narrative. Okay, Vivian says narrative. Anyone has something different?
Descriptive.
Okay, so you like descriptive. Okay.
For me, persuasive.
Yeah. Persuasive. Okay, so you're the lawyer type.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, narrative.
Narrative for Yusuf. Okay. And I would say for me, I like persuasive or descriptive. Persuasive or descriptive, yes. All right, let's go. Let's try to do some practice examples here. Now, you should also be able to find this in the link that I provided for you on Verblin. It should say sentence examples. So hopefully you were able to click that. But I am going to put it up for you as well. All right. So what type of sentence is this? Tell me if it's narrative, informative, persuasive, or descriptive. Number 1 for Magmoon. I have a large room with pink walls. What type of sentence is that?
Descriptive.
Perfect. Descriptive. Excellent. Motaz, number 2. Michael Jordan was the best basketball player of all times.
Informative.
Okay. Now, there's one that would be a little better for this one.
Persuasive.
Persuasive. And the reason persuasive for this one, because someone else could disagree. So we can't say that it's a fact. Remember, informative is based on facts. We can't really say it's a fact, even though some people may feel that way. But someone else could argue against you and say it was Shaquille O'Neal.
I said
So,
informative because
you
I think he is.
So that's why this one would be more on the persuasive side. Okay, there's an echo. Let me see if I can get rid of this echo. All right. Okay. Might be a little better. All right. So do you see how that one would be more persuasive?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna mute everybody. Well, I have like a question. I read sometimes like this very same example. Michael Jordan was arguably the best basketball player of all times. Like, does it change the type of it when we place arguably?
It's still going to be persuasive. It's still really going to be more persuasive. Now, here's how you can change it to informative. If you talk about the different things that he has accomplished in his career as a basketball, that's going to change to informative because those are factual things, and no one can take that away from him because they're statistics. They're in the stats. You understand?
Also, because persuasive, you have to put your opinion on it and
exactly.
say
It's
that
an opinion.
he's the best. Hey, saying that he's the best is already giving an opinion.
Exactly. It's already given an opinion because we cannot assume that everyone feels that way. Yes. So that's why for that one. But that's a good question. Okay, number 3 for you, Seth. My desk is unorganized and needs to be cleaned. Which
descriptive?
Descriptive, yes. Descriptive. Perfect. Okay, number 4 for Ahmad. Are you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay. Rihanna is a pop star who sings the song Diamonds in the Sky. What would you say?
Informative.
Informative, yes, because this is a true statement here. All right, let me go down. Okay. Number 5 for Jiang. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. X Factor and American Idol are popular reality shows in the United States and United Kingdom.
Yes, I think first Steven.
Say that again.
First Stevens. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you say you think it's persuasive?
Yes.
Okay, does everyone agree with that?
No.
Okay,
Seems like informative.
Okay, yes, it's actually informative because these are true statements. They're both shows that are pretty popular in the United States and United Kingdom. They're both. So that's it. That's an informative statement. Okay, number 6 for Juan. I went grocery shopping yesterday. Then I cooked spaghetti.
Descriptive?
Not really. What is it's not describing anything.
Narrative.
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 And how can you tell? Because it's telling a particular story and you see that word then in it. It's showing sequence. I went to this place, then I did this. That's a sequence, so that's narrative. Okay, number 7 for Pablo, my mother is the kindest and sweetest woman in the world. Pablo?
Right. Can you hear me?
No, I did. Now I can.
All right. I think this is persuasive because you are giving your own opinion, and maybe
Okay,
someone else
great.
can disagree with you.
True, very true. And this one is a tricky one because it can actually it could actually be another one as well. It can be persuasive and it can also be what?
Descriptive.
Informative.
Descriptive. Descriptive. Because it's describing what type of mother you have. And it's using
Yeah.
adjectives like kind, kindest, and sweetest. And descriptive uses a lot of adjectives. So you were right in saying persuasive, and that one can actually go for descriptive as well. Okay, number 8 for
All right.
Vivian. I went to Dorney Park and Wildwater Kingdom amusement park last summer.
I went to Dorney Park. Mm, informative.
Okay, now this is another one where it actually wouldn't be wrong to say informative because you can make it informative if you give all the facts about Dorney Park and what you did. But what's another one here that might actually work as well?
Narrative.
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 Right, because it's describing something that you did. Something that you did. So you could actually tell a story about it. 9 for Victor. Victor, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, drugs are illegal substances. What type of writing is that?
Informative.
Perfect, informative. And then you can go on, if you were going to continue to write an essay about this, you would talk about everything in terms of it being illegal and give some statistics about that. Okay, 10 for back to Ahmad.
Yeah.
Barack Obama is the president of the United States.
Informative.
Informative. Yeah, that's definitely that's something that can't be debated.
Yeah.
So it is definitely informative. It's a fact. 11 for Jiang. Money is the key to happiness.
Okay. I think that's the informative.
Actually, no, because think about okay, so informative is telling a fact. But do we
Okay.
know if money is the key to, do we know if people feel happy when they have money? Do we know that to be a fact?
No.
No.
No,
He's
we
trying
don't.
to convince us that
Right,
money
you're
is the
trying to
happiness.
convince us. So, Gian, tell me this. If I'm trying to convince you that money is the key to happiness, what type of writing is that?
I don't know.
Starts with a P. Let me go up so you can see. What type of writing is that? Oh, okay. Someone help her out.
Persuasive.
Persuasive. Persuasive writing persuades the reader and tries to get the reader to agree with him or her. Okay, Juan. Country music is more soothing than rock music.
Descriptive.
What is it describing?
Is more softening.
Not exactly. Listen to it again. Country music is more soothing than rock music. Someone help him out.
He's trying to convince us about his opinion about which is better music.
Exactly. So this particular writing style would be persuasive. You're trying to persuade the reader that country music is more soothing than rock music. Okay, Mahmoud, 13. Verbalist students are more dedicated than the average student.
Informative. No, descriptive. Or persuasive.
Go down the line of writing styles, why don't you, Mahmoud?
It's not narrative, I assure you.
Yes, it is persuasive. I am trying to persuade you, or the writer is trying to persuade you that Vermont students are more dedicated. Do we know that to be a fact? Not really, but that is an opinion, so it is persuasive. Okay, Motaz, 14. Life is worth living.
Persuasive too?
Persuasive. Some people feel the opposite. So
Yeah.
in that case, you are persuading. And last, Pablo, 15. I am going home before I go to the movies.
Alright, this could be informative and narrative as well.
Okay, and I would lean more on the side of narrative. Okay, because it's going to, if it continues to go on and have some more sentences, you will see that it is going to tell a sequence. I'm going home before I go to the movies, then I'll do this, then I'll do that, and so forth and so on. So you guys, I think you really have a very good understanding at this point of the four main writing styles. Again, there are lots of different writing styles that can come out of these writing styles, but these are the four main writing styles. GM, are you getting it at this point? Do you understand the difference between the four?
Yes, I think I understand.
Okay. All right, so one last recap. What does informative writing do? Anyone can answer.
Tell us facts.
Tell facts. Inform the reader. Tell facts. What's the other word for informative?
Expository.
Expository. What does persuasive writing do?
Convince us.
Convince, persuade. What does narrative writing do?
Telling a story.
Tell a story. And finally, what does descriptive writing do?
Describe
details.
It describes.
Giving a description of something.
It describes. And the last question. In descriptive writing, there are two things that are commonly used. What are those two things?
Adjectives.
Perfect.
Sensorial details.
Sensory images. Yes, sensory refers to the five senses. Perfect. You guys are excellent as always. Thank you for coming. Thank you for bearing with me with the late start and the computer issues. And I hope to see you guys on Saturday is my next class. And that one's going to be a fun competition game on U.S. geography. So hope to see you there. Maybe you will be a part of the winning team.
Thank you,
guys, you're welcome. Have a great night or day. I don't know what it is for you, but it's night for me. And hopefully I'll see you soon.
Same to you.
Bye, teacher.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, wait. One thing I forgot to mention. I'm sorry. Make sure you go on Verbalin and follow me. Follow me and go to my Facebook page and follow me as well. It's called April's Verbalin page. All right, good night.
We did long ago.
Okay. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.